Hi friends, it's teacher Ulrich here. How's it going? That's wonderful. Today you are joining me to start with a brand new lesson from Wordly Wise Book 5. Today we will start with lesson 20. This is a big one because this is the final lesson for this whole book. I want to start by saying congratulations, really. You've made it this far, so we should just push this little bit and we're all done with this whole book. You've learned so many words. Today, let's get started with day 1, our first class for this lesson. There will be 6 or 7 classes in total because for lesson 20, there is a crossword puzzle and I believe there are 2 or 3 tests. So today, let's get started with the word list from lesson 20. There are 15 words in total, and today we'll talk about the words and their different meanings. Right? Let's get started at the top. The first word we can see here, ample. Now, just below it, we can see the pronunciation guide. That tells us how to say the word. Ample. We can see here that ample has 1, 2 adjective meanings, right? This is an adjective. Remember, an adjective is a word that tells you more about the noun. It describes the noun. So, the first adjective meaning for the word ample. We use this word to describe something which is plenty, more than enough. Plenty is a synonym for ample. 1 large turkey will provide ample food for 8 people. See, ample, more than enough. We also use this word to describe something, the second meaning, which is large in size. The cat's ample stomach was proof that he was given plenty of food. So the cat's big stomach, its ample stomach, was proof that it was getting a lot of food, ample. Is there something that you have ample of? I have ample socks. I have so many socks, more than enough, ample. The next word is burden. Burden. Now, burden is the name, N for noun, is the name of something that is carried, especially a heavy load. Carrying his frail son on his shoulder was never a burden. So carrying his frail, weak son on his shoulder was never a burden. Burden is also the name of anything that is hard to bear. This is not the animal bear. Hard to bear means hard to deal with. So this is more an emotional thing. The burden of caring for 4 sick children was too much for the babysitter. So she could not handle it. The burden of caring for 4 sick children was too much for the babysitter. Now, you can burden too. You can be a burden. To burden is to add to what one has to bear. Don't burden your grandparents with this problem. They already have other things they have to deal with. Don't burden them with more problems, right? What is this boy's burden? His heavy backpack. Do you have a burden? What kind? Something heavy, like something you have to carry, or something more emotional? The next word is compassion. Compassion. Compassion is the name of a feeling of sharing the suffering of others and of wanting to help. Sympathy, pity. Sympathy and pity, those two words are synonyms for compassion. Shazia's compassion for the homeless led to her working each weekend at the soup kitchen. So Shazia has compassion for homeless people. She shares their burden. She feels sorry for them. She has sympathy for them. She shows pity for them. I'm rambling on to show you how you can use this word in different ways. And it's not only important to know the word, but also to know the synonyms like sympathy, pity. Because maybe you already know the word sympathy. Now I tell you compassion is the same, and you got it. Compassionate is a different form of the word. We use the word compassionate to describe someone or to describe the state of showing compassion. Someone who shows compassion is very compassionate. The doctor's compassionate manner made her loved by all of her patients. This girl is very compassionate. She cares for her friend. The next word is comply. Comply. To comply is to act in agreement with a rule or another's wishes. So if you comply with the rules, you follow the rules. Unless you comply with the requirements to wear shoes, you cannot enter the restaurant. So the restaurant could say, no shoes, no service. You'll hear that. No shoes, no shirt, no service. So if you're not wearing shoes, you cannot go into the restaurant, because some restaurants are fancy restaurants. Recently, because of COVID-19, you'll see this. No mask, no entry. So, if you do not comply and you don't wear a mask, you cannot go into the shop. If you want to go into the shop, you have to comply and wear a mask. The next word is cumbersome. Cumbersome. We use the word cumbersome to describe something which is awkward and hard to handle. Unwieldy is a synonym for cumbersome. Now, in a previous lesson, I can't remember which, but we learned the word unwieldy. It's hard to handle, hard to carry. The crate of oranges was cumbersome, but the clerk managed to get it up the stairs. This piece of wood is very cumbersome, but look, if you have a piece of rope, you can easily carry it like this. It's a trick. So you make the rope up like that, then you just hook it in, and you grab this part, both these parts, and then you just carry it. So it makes a very cumbersome board easy to carry. The next word is distress. To distress is to cause pain or sorrow, to trouble or worry. So you can do this. You can cause distress. It distresses me that no one offered to help when they saw the accident. Distress is also used as the name of pain, sorrow, or worry. Pain, sorrow, worry. Those are also synonyms for distress. Our class felt distress because of our friend's illness. So we made a large poster with our get well wishes. So get well. That is what you tell someone when they're sick. So you can send them a get well card. Distress. The next word is encounter. Encounter. To encounter is to meet unexpectedly. To meet something unexpectedly is to encounter it. The actress encountered a crowd of fans in the lobby of her hotel. She met a crowd of fans in the lobby of the hotel. It was unexpectedly. That was why we say she encountered them. To encounter is also to be faced with. As the frightened children ran around the corner, they encountered a stone wall. So to be faced with a stone wall, or to be faced with something, is to encounter it. When I went through the gate, I was encountered by an angry dog. Or I encountered an angry dog. Encounter is also used as the name of a chance meeting. A meeting by chance. It's not planned. It just happened by chance, accidentally, sort of. Our encounter with our neighbors at the party was a pleasant surprise. Encounter is also the name of a battle or a fight. The first major encounter of the Civil War occurred at Fort Sumter on April 12, 1861. So the first big encounter, battle of the Civil War occurred at Fort Sumter on April 1861. Great. These people went out on their boat and look what they encountered. Dolphins. The next word is exert. Exert. To exert is to put forth effort, to put something out, to do effort, to make effort, to exert. If Jane doesn't exert herself more in Spanish class, I'm sure she will not be able to speak the language. So if she does not exert herself, if she does not put forth more effort, do more, she will not speak Spanish. Exertion is the name of the act of tiring oneself. A strong effort, exertion. The exertion of climbing to the top of the ruins left the explorers feeling weak. So let's see, what level of exertion are you at? Extremely easy or extremely hard? What level of exertion is this exercise? What do you usually exert yourself in? Do you exert in English class? Do you exert yourself? Put forth a great effort? That's necessary if you want to learn the language well, especially with these difficult words. The next word is indignant. We use the word indignant to describe someone who is angry or resentful about something that seems wrong or unfair. So these people are angry at something because it is wrong or is unfair. Indignant. Brandisha was indignant when her friend ignored her repeated texts. So she was angry because she thought, this is unfair. You should respond to my texts. Indignation. Indignation is the name of anger that is caused by something mean or unfair. So indignation is when you feel angry because of something unfair or mean. My indignation was aroused when I was not given a chance to defend myself. These people are indignant over the war. They feel the war is unfair. The next word is jest. Jest. Jest is the name of a joke or the act of joking. My remark was made in jest. I'm sorry you took me seriously. To jest is to joke or say things light-heartedly, to joke. Surely you jest, I said when my aunt suggested throwing out the television set. So surely you're joking. Surely you jest. Are you jesting? So are you joking? Now in olden European times, a jester was someone who made jokes to entertain the king or a crowd. In the Middle Ages, a jester, that's like a joker. If you have a deck of cards, like playing cards, to play poker or blackjack, you'll find the jester card or the joker card. It has like a clown on. That's the jester. So to jest is to joke or to act in a joking way. The next word is mirth. Remember, TH makes th. It's like making the S sound, S, but with your tongue between your teeth. Mirth. Mirth is the name of laughter, joyfulness expressed through laughter. The sight of the 3-year-old wearing her mother's hat and shoes provoked much mirth among the family. See? The mirth among the family. Laughter. The next word is moral. Moral. Moral is the name of a useful lesson about life, a moral. The play's moral was look before you leap. Leap is jump, so look before you jump. We use the word moral to describe something having to do with questions of right and wrong. So what's the moral thing to do? What's the right thing to do? Animal cruelty is a moral as well as a legal issue. So it's not right and it is illegal, animal abuse. Hitting children is a moral and a legal problem. So it's not right and it is illegal. We also use it to describe something based on what is right and proper. You have a moral duty to report a crime if you see it. So if you see someone committing a crime, you have a moral duty to call the police. So here are some moral foundations. Loyalty, respect, care, fairness. Sanctity, You'll hear people say moral values. It's against my moral values. To steal is against my moral values. What is against your moral values? To lie, to cheat, to steal, to hurt people. Hopefully all of those things. The next word is outskirts. Outskirts is the name of the parts far from the center, as of a town. So the outskirts of the town is like the outside part of the town, not in the center. So this is the town, not here. It's like here, that's the outskirts. We plan to build another large shopping mall. The plan to build another large shopping mall on the outskirts of town was voted down at the meeting. So this is the outskirts of town. There is the town. This is the outskirts. Town, outskirts. Where do you live? I live on the outskirts of town. I lived in Beijing for some time, for a year and a half. I lived on the outskirts of Beijing, in Tongzhou. Not in the center, on the outskirts. The next word is resume. Resume. To resume is to begin again after a pause. To resume. The concert will resume after a 15-minute break or interval. It will carry on, continue. Continue is a synonym for resume. To resume is also to occupy again. After a quick stop, the bus passengers resumed their seats for the next part of the journey. See, they occupied their seats again. To occupy a place is to be in the place. To occupy your seat is to be in your seat. The teacher asked the students to occupy their seats quickly. So go sit in your seat quickly. So to resume is to occupy again. Resume your seat, please. Go back to your seat. Resume your table. Go back to your table. After lunch, resume your room. Go back to your room. The next word is ridicule. Ridicule. To ridicule is to make fun of, to mock. To mock is to ridicule. People once ridiculed the idea that flight by heavier than air machines was possible. So to make fun of. So people made fun of airplanes. The idea that flight, so flying by heavier than air, so machines that are heavier than air, was impossible. So any airplane actually is heavier than air. Anything is heavier than air. This pen is heavier than air. To ridicule is also the name of words or actions intended to make fun of or mock. Make fun of or mock. Their ridicule of my friend finally provoked me to lose my temper. Now stop with your ridicule of my friend. Now here is a different form of the word. Ridiculous. I'm sure you've heard of this. We use the word ridiculous to describe something which is laughable, deserving of mockery. It is ridiculous to suggest that a bridge could be built across the Atlantic Ocean. Wow! Imagine that, if you had to build a bridge from America to Africa. That is ridiculous, right? Impossible. Friends, and that's it for today's class. Well done, and thanks for joining me. Remember to keep practicing your words and their meanings. Also, I want to let you know that in the next class, in day 2, we'll be doing this activity, activity 20A, using words in context. So bring this activity with you for the next class. That's it for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Goodbye for now.